The ocean moves and the tides roll in unison with my surroundings, rough, cold, and full of shit. It's not me, it's my conditions. It's not my friends, it's politicians who get over because affiliations. Secret societies run this nation. I search and seek, but deep lies the answer. By 42, blowing a heavy drops of rain. The ocean moves and the tide roll in unison with my surroundings, rough, cold, and foolish. It's not cause no one seems to listen. I'm in a no-win position. As my life goes on, these are the accounts of my days in review. Whether positive or negative, I still stand. As long as I stand, my life still has a chance. So I shine, so I shine, so I shine. Thank God, so I shine.
Come out the darkness and let your soul rise.
All negative forces get left behind.
Cause in these days and through these hard times,
we step to the forefront with vibes to shine.
Come out the darkness and let your soul rise.
All negative forces get left behind.
Cause in these days and through these hard times,
we step to the forefront with vibes to shine.
In these hot times I can't slumber, so I wonder, dodging the roaring thunder and the hunter, that of which poses oppositions through acquisitions of world dominance in all existence. I don't know, it seems they got us all thinking irrational. Classical rhymes ease minds past the obstacle courses of everyday life. The bush be toting, brothers be smoking, other brothers money's provoking. Crack sales, black males are disappearing, taking off in body bags or taking off the prison. There's monsters in the doorsteps, braving away, same images, flashbacks from slavery days. Sons are separated by being incarcerated. 26 years since birth, walking the earth, seeking for brighter times. It seems it's getting worse. Yeah, I get old well. I'm learning stories to tell. 8 mil of them f***ers, each one be getting rougher. My eyes open wide to the sunshine. In my confines, tap the mind, develop rhymes. Walk the streets with my eyes on my back, on my side, on my front, through this black man hunt. I've dealt with suede head women who just won't understand. When I'm with my man, I mastermind and master plans to get my own. My zone is getting hotter than hell. Trying to get loot, retire mommy, love as well. The things I've seen day by day make a grown man cry. But goddamn, only half of my day that went by. You see, as my life goes on, these are the accounts of my days in review. Whether positive or negative, I stay with my crew well refined, and together we shine. So I shine, so I shine, so I shine. Thank God, so I shine.
And let your soul rise.
All negative forces get left behind.
Cause in these days and through these hard times,
we step to the forefront with vibes to shine.
Come out the darkness and let your soul rise.
All negative forces get left behind.
Cause in these days and through these hard times,
we step to the forefront with vibes to shine.
Good afternoon, everybody. This is your boy TJ. The show Streetz Iz Talking. We're a new show here on the Rip Radio Network. And, yeah, you got to deal with 2 hours of my bullshit while you're at work coming from lunch. You know, you might want to turn your speakers down on your computers if you're watching, because I'm going to say some fucked up shit during this show. I got to make a disclaimer that the views expressed by myself are not the views of the staff, the ownership of the RIP Radio Network. So don't be trying to call up here and make motherfucking complaints about the fucked up shit I say, because it's going to be fucked up. A lot of shit going to be fucked up. For those of you that don't know me, I'm not the most politically correct person in the world. I use a lot of epithets. And it's not because I'm a mean-spirited person. It's just because I don't have this thing called tact. So I tend to say what's on my mind. I try to put it in an intelligent and funny way, but I don't try to curtail my language as to not offend people. I think I do that best. So I tend to just say what's on my mind. If you notice, I've been promoting the show for a couple of weeks. Me and my host, Bella Nightingale. As you can see, I'm here alone. Bella couldn't make it today. She had to soak her feet in some hot dog water. So she couldn't make it today, so I'm going to have to do this shit solo. If any of you all want to come up here and get here in the next 2 hours to help me the fuck out, because I'm going 2 hours. I mean, I was off for 1 hour, but I'm going 2 hours. And I'm going to try to make the shit do what it do. I'm going to bring the man behind the boards in on this. He's going to have to help me out, because otherwise I'll be sitting here talking to my motherfucking self, and it will not be cute. So how the fuck y'all doing today? Let me talk about some things that's on my mind this morning. I'm looking at my iPhone. Yeah, I got this I got an iPhone 7, and they came out yesterday. Well, they announced the iPhone 8 and the iPhone X. And see, historically, I've been an Android guy. I started out with the Nexus 1. Well, I got to take it back. I used to have a fucking BlackBerry, right? Well, I was married at the time. Look, I had a BlackBerry, right? You know, the BlackBerry is supposed to be the most secure phone out there. So me and my ex, you know, things was kind of shaky. Things was bad. I ain't gonna go into all the details. You know, I was fucking around. And you know, when you fucking around, back in that day, you got the Yahoo Instant Messenger, you clean your shit off. You got your BlackBerry, you clean the messages off, right? And my ex-wife, who literally had a license, a private investigations license in Virginia. She had a private investigator's license in Virginia, but she said it had a stupid-ass husband that didn't pay attention to the fact that she had a private investigator's license, which meant that she knew some shit about catching me that I didn't know she knew. So she pays attention in class. So one day, you know, my BlackBerry come up missing for a couple of days, like 3 days. I didn't think I done, you know, been out jogging, out somewhere fucking around, and then dropped my BlackBerry. I can't find it. BlackBerry missing like a motherfucker, right? So one day I wake up in the morning. She come in the room. She like, you sleep good? I'm like, yeah. She like, you look like you real rested. I'm like, yeah. I'm wondering where this motherfucking line of questioning is going. Why are you so concerned about my sleep? And I was like, yeah, I'm cool. And this motherfucker hurls the BlackBerry at me like, you fucking around on that bitch. You fucking around with me with that bitch. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? Because in my mind, I've deleted all of the evidence of me fucking around on her out of the phone. Well, for those of you all don't know, well, number one, my ex-wife was the type that if she buys something like an electronic device, you know the little booklets we take and we just throw that shit to the side? She goes through the motherfuckers and read them. Then she goes on the internet and then she researches it. Come to find out, the BlackBerry, if you delete the messages off of the phone, are still on the SIM card. So she goes through, I hadn't fucked with the girl in about, 3 months. But the way they list it on the SIM card is not like it's categorized or compartmentalized according to the person that you talk to. It's just how they come in chronologically. So this motherfucker go back 3 years of text messages and find out where I'm fucking with the girl. So needless to say, I left the BlackBerry alone. I moved on to Android, Nexus 1, Nexus S, Nexus Prime, S3, Note 3, Note 4, S7, S7 Edge, and eventually I end up with the iPhone. I'm saying that to say that the iPhone X and the iPhone 8 came out yesterday, and them motherfuckers want like $1,100 for the phone. $1,100. That's $1,100 bills for a goddamn phone. What does it do? What does a phone do that it needs to cost $1,100? I need to be able to hit an app and automatically order some ads to the house. Seriously. $1,100 for the phone. And I know, you know, some people out there, you know, they're going to go out and spend their money on that type of shit. But that shit is ridiculous. $1,100 for a fucking phone? There ain't no damn way I play $1,100 for a phone. As y'all can see, I'm bullshitting because I ain't got no motherfucking co-host here. This is the Streetz Iz Talking Radio. I'm going to fix this shit next week because my co-host, she had an issue in her other profession that, you know, came up. Shit happens. And you have to move along. Our sponsor today, and I try to feature all sort of small businesses in here, you know, hustling their products. Don't call me up here with no motherfucking prepaid legal or no motherfucking travel organization. You network marketing motherfuckers. I'm not advertising your shit on here because that's just a pyramid scam, just pyramid Ponzi scheme. It's a hustle. I'm not doing that. But today, I'm featuring Miss Puddin's Puddin', and this is by my girl Christine. I'm gonna give her a call later on today, so you know we can talk about where y'all can get it from. But she has this delicious pudding that she dropped off at my house at about 12:30 this morning, because she wanted to make sure I had samples to get to everybody. But as you can see, I'm the only one here. My fourth co-host today, he don't want none because he don't like no banana pudding, and I can't eat it because I got the diabetes. Okay, so he gonna take one, and it's got the strawberry joint in it. Yeah, man, she do her thing. So I'm gonna give you this. We're gonna sit this right here and go to break. I'm gonna let him sample it, and he'll be able to tell y'all how it tastes. And that's that. Somebody is calling me from motherfucking Utah. I don't know who it is. I should answer it. It's probably a bill collector, but you know I don't want to talk to the motherfucker. So I'm gonna send y'all to voicemail. So. Today, let's see what's going on in the news today, man. The NFL boycott. NFL boycott. For those of y'all that don't know, there has been a call for the boycott of NFL games because of the treatment that's been given to Colin Kaepernick. Colin Kaepernick, who is the president of light-skinned people in America. Because you know Jesse Williams, after he left his black wife, you know he was the dude, the new light skinned dude. After the BET Awards, he gave that speech, and then black women found out he left his black wife for a white woman. We ain't heard from him no more. So Colin Kaepernick, who is the new the new leader of light skinned niggas in America, he has been systematically banned from the NFL, whereas no team will pick him up. Now I'm a lifetime Chicago Bears fan. I'm born and raised in Chicago, so you know every team in Chicago I'm a fan of by default, with the exception of the Chicago Cubs. Even though they won a World Series, I've always been historically a White Sox fan. But Colin Kaepernick, you know, he took a knee. We all know the story. He took a knee, and when they started asking him questions as to why he wasn't standing for the national anthem, he gave them some answers that, you know, you generally don't hear from a professional athlete, because they try to keep it, you know, politically correct, keep the answers politically correct. And he's not stupid. So the answers that he gave, they didn't like. He opted out of his contract because they were going to waive him anyway. He wanted to test the market. And in doing so, no team has pretty much signed him. Seattle Seahawks showed interest. They talked to him. They didn't work him out. The Ravens started talking about it. I'm going to get into that in a second. They didn't sign him. And he's still sitting while, you know, a lot of players, NFL quarterbacks have been signed who can't throw warm piss out of a window, have gotten jobs, and he hasn't gotten a job. Let me get something straight first. For all of us, because I'm personally not watching the team. Number two, I had no plans on watching the Bears anyway, because they could have signed two very good black quarterbacks. They signed a white one. I know they have a problem with having a black person lead their team. You know, even though they had Lovie Smith as a quarterback, they have a problem with that just historically with the team. So I was disgusted with him anyway. I chose not to go forward and watch the games this season, and it was before everybody had called for a boycott. I decided that I'm not going to watch the games because it's just a slap in the face to black people. You know, when Mike Vick killed those dogs, everybody went ape shit. Everybody have a problem with Michael Vick because they love animals. When Ray Rice, Falcon punched his wife in the elevator. Well, who wasn't his wife, but his baby mama at the time in the elevator. They kicked him out the league because it is not prudent, be it a black woman or a white woman, to hit a woman. Even though the NFL has a history of bringing back domestic abusers, murderers, drunk drivers, drug addicts, cheats, Tom Brady. A black man taking a knee for the national anthem is just not popular. So they chose not to bring him back. And I say, you know what, fuck the NFL, because if you care about dogs, you care about women. With Chris Louis of Minnesota, y'all brought in Michael Sam. You wanted to make sure that gays felt included. You don't care about black people, then I can't care about your product. Now, I'm going to spend a little time on this today because outside of the fact that they're not hiring Colin Kaepernick, there's a couple of other issues why I don't really fuck with the NFL. And one of the reasons is, number one, they don't mess with black people. I mean, they could use us. Over 70% of the players in the NFL are African American, black, whatever you identify yourself with, Hotep. The fact is, you can play for us, but you can advocate for whatever cause you want. But when you speak out against the systematic oppression of people of color, particularly black people, I got a phone call already. Okay, well, somebody call into the station. Caller, what's your name and where you calling from?
Man, you know who this is. This is Jay Gant calling from Largo, Maryland.
What's up, homie? What's going on with you?
Man, I gave you my word that I would call in today, so I'm keeping my word, and I hear you talk about the Colin Kaepernick.
I'm going to need you on the phone for a little bit, bro, because you can see my gorgeous co-host, she had a problem with her feet today, and she had to soak them in some Epsom salt and some lemon juice because the motherfucking soles of her feet was harder than the motherfucker. But this is my friend, Jay Gant, who was the host of Sideline Haters, which was...
Who still is the host of Sideline
Well,
Haters?
he's still the host of Sideline Haters, and he would have me call in, number one, to do movie reviews and give my opinions on shit. So, Jay, the Colin Kaepernick situation, first and foremost, you're a Redskins fan, and, you know, my condolences to you for being a fan of a team that sucks so bad. But what's your stance as far as the boycott? Are you watching football this season, or are you not partaking?
I'm not partaking this year, and just like you are a diehard Bears fan, I've been rolling for the Redskins since for 42 years right now.
Right.
And granted, the last 24 have been some rough years. I ain't going to front, but I'm still with them. However, as soon as the cap situation came down, I gathered my family, and we've said, yeah, we're not going to watch football this year because of the blackballing, or whiteballing, we should say, that Kaepernick has received. Now, yeah, whiteballing, because he's black, whiteballing. My question is, though, to the public, we already saw that the boycott did have an effect on ratings this season. There are people who are not gathering to go watch games. We saw in San Fran, it was like a ghost town at their home game.
Yeah, it was pretty empty.
It looked bad.
Really empty.
Really empty. Right now, looking at who needs quarterbacks, the Jets need a quarterback.
The Jets.
The Jaguars need a quarterback.
Which the owner said he would sign Cap, but it's a lot different from saying what you would do than what you actually would do. But continue.
My question is, if Cap doesn't get picked up this season, it's almost said and done for his NFL career per se.
Right.
Or are we going to keep the boycott going on for next year?
Well, here's the thing. I personally, and this is just my personal opinion, I've come to the realization and acceptance that Kaepernick is not going to be signed. And he's not going to be signed not because, you know, of the boycott or whatever it is. When you think of systematic white supremacy, which is what we're dealing with these owners, what they can't have is a Nat Turner on the plantation. They can't. They cannot afford it. They talk about distractions, and in a sense, we know that he will be a distraction because every football team, particularly after the game, have media obligations. And whether Cap is the starting quarterback of a team, a second or a third string quarterback, we know that when it comes to the media obligations, they'll want to speak to the team, but they're going to seek Kaepernick out. And they're going to want to know what he has to say. And what they can't have, which they already see it. They see players kneeling. They see players sitting. They even see some white players kneeling. They see players holding up the black fist. What they can't have is for other players to start speaking out like Colin Kaepernick is. And essentially, when you can put yourself in a position to have power, whereas if a majority of the black players in the league start coming together on this issue and start addressing this issue, ownership has never liked the organization of the workforce. So they
Well, here's a couple of things here.
Go ahead.
Michael Bennett and the unfortunate situation that happened to him during the Mayweather fight has kind of put another spark into it, where you have a active NFL player who was protesting exactly what, well, had an example of exactly what Colin Kaepernick was protesting.
Right.
The excessive force and the brutality when he was, quote unquote, detained by the Las Vegas Police Department. So we have a Bennett brother and both the Bennett brothers are already outspoken on social issues when it comes to the league.
Exactly.
So they kind of picked the wrong one to actually do this.
Yes, they did.
Right now,
you can't
you have this guy.
You can't say that Michael Bennett is speaking on a situation, and you can't say, well, you just should stick to sports. It's kind of hard to tell him to stick to sports when he was in Las Vegas when he had a gun stuck in his back. So it's kind of hard to say that. So he's legitimizing the issue.
When they say stick to sports, they've already galvanized politics in sports at every sporting event by doing the national anthem before the game.
Right.
So you already introduced politics into sports, quote-unquote fake patriotism into sports when you do this display during professional football games. You know, college teams don't do that. They do the national anthem at college games, but college players aren't on the field when they play the national anthem, which is something I don't mind them playing the anthem. You and I are both veterans, but you and I are both woke veterans.
Right.
Like right now, if we really knew then when we both enlisted what we knew now, I don't think I would have enlisted, to tell you the truth. Now, granted, it comes with some benefits. We both benefited from the GI Bill, from VA loans. There's some good that comes through it, but not all money is good money. But right now, they picked the wrong one to do this too. And you have folks who are confusing patriotism with nationalism.
Hold on, Jay. Let me just stop for a second. You said something, so let me just put people on game for a second. I need all my veterans to stick their ear to the speaker, and I want y'all to hear something. You're going to hear laughter. Jay, you Army, right?
Air Force.
Air Force. Okay, Chair Force. Y'all don't really do shit, but I'm not even going to get to that. But I am, and will die a U.S. Marine, right? Let me tell you all something who talk that fake patriotism shit about the national anthem and the flag. The national anthem and the flag become significant 2 times a day on the United States military base. In the morning for reveille, in the evening for taps. Reveille, they play reveille, the flag is up. Tradition states that on a military base, when reveille or taps is played, if you are outside, if you are in uniform, you're outside, there's no cover, you are supposed to face the direction of the flag and salute. If there's no flag within sight, you face the direction of the music and you salute. You do that in morning during reveille, but most aren't up. You do it evening in taps. You don't have to do it. If you're in the car, you stop the car. If you're in the building, you can move around freely, but they tend to want you to not move. But that is tradition. That's what you're supposed to do in the military. But here's a little known fact that people who have never served in the military know. When taps plays or when reveille plays in the morning, if you're in uniform, if you're outside, once they hear it, because first they play reveille, then they play taps, then the national anthem come on. The signal is reveille, taps, you know that that's coming, national anthem comes on afterwards, you do your salute. When motherfuckers hear reveille, when motherfuckers hear taps, you know what they do? They run for fucking cover. They run in the fucking building because nobody wants to stand outside and stand there and salute when the fucking national anthem is played. This is on every
sleet, snow, or shine.
This is on every Marine Corps base, Army base, Navy, Air Force, Coast Guard. Nobody in military uniform want to fucking interrupt. Like, I got to stand out here like a fucking idiot and salute. It's no pride in that. So while everybody is talking this shit about it's about the military, it's full of shit. And let me just say this. I believe it was up until 2009, which was subsequently 8 years ago, that the NFL allowed players on the field when the national anthem was played. Normally, the players were in the locker room when the national anthem was played. They weren't even on the field. That didn't happen up until 2009. And here's another thing that a lot of you don't know. The NFL is what's called a 501c3 organization. It's tax exempt. It is a tax exempt organization. Federal and state. The NFL is what is classified as a charity. Did you know that? No, it is a 501c3 organization, whereas if you donate money, they collect money, whatever proceeds they get it as a charity. So when you donate to something like the Red Cross is what's called a 501c3 organization, and you donate to the Red Cross, they take your money. They don't do what they say they're going to do with it. We found that shit out with Haiti. They didn't build shit in Haiti but 3 houses. And all that additional funding goes to executives and employees. So the money that the NFL generates, it goes to executives and employees. Now, they have revenue sharing, which goes to each and every owner. And then the owners are responsible for their state and their their federal and respective state taxes. But the NFL is a 501c3 organization. Now, here's another fact. Another fact is up until 2009, I believe it was, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, Jay, that the NFL charged up to $5.9 million to the Department of Defense for their displays of patriotism and the honors that they were showing to the military servicemen. So when they had these
until 2 years ago,
up until 2009,
up until 2 years ago,
up until 2 years ago when it was exposed, the NFL was charging the military when they have the servicemen on the phone, on the field, and they do the flag bearing ceremony. The United States Department of Defense was paying the NFL to do that. So whenever you think that the NFL was honoring the servicemen, the NFL was getting paid for it. So how fucking patriotic is the NFL and its owners when you're charging the military to be able to show displays of patriotism on the field, but then you turn around and say it's bad business for the NFL for Kaepernick to take a knee during the national anthem? That's the hypocrisy of it.
I'm going to say this portion, I'm going to let you go ahead and do your thing.
Okay.
After 9/11, remember, there's only been one weekend where football was canceled, and that was the weekend directly after 9/11.
Right.
We didn't get all of these acts of patriotism shown at NFL stadiums or any sporting events until post 9/11.
Right.
That's when we really got the recruiting aspect of it with the NFL and the DOD getting in bed with each other.
It was business.
Trying to recruit.
All business.
During the Bush regime, we had a drawback in actual enlistment. So right now you had an act of terrorism that went on, and I think it's active domestic terrorism, but that's a time for a different topic right there.
Right.
But recruitment spiked up on every Sunday when you see these acts of patriotism, especially during football games.
Right.
You even had NFL members who left the NFL to go enlist or commission during this time.
Pat Tillman.
Yeah, Tillman's a perfect example, got killed in action by friendly fire. But the NFL has already staked their claim to politics with this. So we also what happened to Muhammad Ali. He got blackballed by chosen not to go to the Vietnam War. He sat out for boxing for a couple of years until he was reinstated back in. Like you said, Colin Kaepernick probably won't play another down of football again. And I'm not one to try to tell a man how to dictate his money. But until the majority, or at least 40% of the players, decide that they're not going to play, it won't be a change in this NFL. Now, granted, it's helping what we're doing by boycotting. But we're going to need some of these folks who are actually getting these checks, some of these players, to go ahead and stand up for us as well.
Well,
But, bro, I'm going to let you go ahead and go. I'm going to log off and go ahead and listen in. Congratulations on the show. Tell Shannon to go ahead and tune back in, get back on the studio next week, because I will really tune in to watch her.
Ain't that a bitch?
Me and her have a conversation.
Ain't that a bitch? All right, bro. Thanks, Jay. But yeah,
All right, man. Later.
What he said before he got off the phone was that until we get the NFL players to actually boycott the games, he won't see the light of day. I don't think that's going to happen. Number one, I don't expect NFL players to sit out. And here's why. People that know me know that I'm pretty much on Facebook all throughout the day. I never have a charge on my battery because I'm always saying something on Facebook that's fucked up, or I'm trolling somebody's page. One of my nicknames is Trollhover, you know, the god of trolls. And I've seen, since the boycott was even in its, the talk of the boycott was even in its infancy, you see black people, yeah, I'm talking you niggas, you see black people who have come up with any and every reason as to why the boycott won't work. Now, I can discuss the boycott. I can discuss why I'm boycotting. But you always have this demographic of black people who, if we were talking 200 years ago, 100, 200 years ago, they would have been the slaves on the plantation that Harriet Tubman couldn't get to leave. They would have been maybe 50 or 60 years ago, they would have been the black people who say, you know what, despite this damn bus boycott down in Montgomery, I got to get to work. You're going to always have that demographic of black people because we have been, you know, socially engineered to be our own worst enemy, to be our own worst detriment. And I see more people who are trying to put down the idea of the boycott, to discuss, to point out the hypocrisy of the boycott. You know, me as a person that's saying that I'm not going to watch the game, I'm not going to somebody's, you know, that's saying that they are watching the game, and I'm not trying to shit on them watching the game. If that's what you want to do, that's what you want to do. Some people need entertainment on Sundays. Me, myself, not watching the game, I haven't really watched in 3 years because my Bears have been sucking so long that I haven't really felt a need to watch that type of catastrophe on Sundays. But I get a lot of shit done on Sunday during football season. Do you know how motherfucking empty the stores are at Target and Walmart and at the Walls? You know how empty the stores are on Sundays during football season? I can go in the grocery store and get whatever the hell it is I want, walk through, don't have to bump into no old ladies, no kids hit me in the back of my leg with no shopping cart on Sunday. I can get a lot done on Sunday. So I just simply, but some people need that escape, and I get that. Some don't see the bigger picture, but the fact of the matter is I see more people that are watching the game putting down the boycott than I see people who are boycotting putting down people that's watching the game. And to me, knowing what I know, I just find it, you know, it's sad. But the fact is, and here are the facts. The NFL it's already been documented that during the preseason and during the opening games, that the viewership of NFL games is down 14%. Now that, it sounds on the surface like not a lot. If you got $100 in singles and you lose 14 of them, even though you still got $86, the fact of the matter is you're mindful of the fact that you lost 14. And I've heard people argue the point that it's really not going to work because out of all the fans in the NFL, only 14% is African American. Well, if that's the case, and viewership is down 14%, the NFL, they already got their money 2 years ahead. Right. They got their money 2 years ahead by the networks, the sponsors. So they sitting on the check, right? But here's the problem. People advertise with you because they know eyes are on you. And if they can associate themselves with you and they can, you know, position their product next to you, then they know that the eyes that are on you going to be on their product too. Advertisers are paying attention. Sponsors are paying attention. Wait a minute, hold up. You all are losing viewers. 14% of the people who I thought was going to be watching your product, which in turn will be watching my product, is not watching you. That's going to be an issue, and they're paying attention to that. In addition to that, you have advertisers who are looking at the networks and say, hey, CBS, y'all viewership down 14%. And the president of sports for CBS has just come out recently and said that the dip in viewership, part of the reason is because of the Colin Kaepernick protests. Now, Colin Kaepernick ain't playing. And I had somebody who may or may not call into the show today, try to tell me that based on the article that they're trying to say that even last year the viewership was down because Kaepernick was protesting. Well, if Kaepernick is protesting San Francisco games, then you can turn from the San Francisco game and watch a Miami game. You could watch a Detroit game. What would possess people who are upset with Kaepernick protesting turn off all NFL? That's not the case. Don't spin the words with me. 14% dip now because people aren't watching. Best believe, and I own a small business. If I lose 14% of my customers, I'm feeling that in my pocket. Or I'm going to potentially feel it in my pocket. So when my season starts up and it's a little slower than usual, I notice. And the NFL notice. But the problem I'm having with this is the fact that people are getting on that protest. Like, what's convicting you? Do you feel something in your self-accusing spirit that is attacking your conscience for not stepping up and doing the right thing for your own selfish reasons and forcing you to say something to make you feel better or to quiet that internal voice? Because I don't care that you're watching the game. That has nothing to do with me. All that tells me is that you don't realize your power as a consumer. Even in viewing, you're a consumer. Because 9 times out of 10, when a product comes on a commercial, you use it. You buy it. And if you understand the psychology of things, you see something over and over and over again, you're going to want it. Like, when I was a child growing up on the west side of Chicago, we didn't have a whole lot of money, but as a child, you don't think about that. But when you see that Toys R Us commercial at Christmas time, I don't want to grow up, I want to be a Toys R Us kid. I didn't even want no fucking toys. I just wanted to go to Toys R Us because of the jingle. And if you see a commercial time and time again, you're going to want to consume that product. And you might not think about it, but that Tide commercial that's advertising during the Skins game, where you know the Skins are getting their ass washed, the fact of the matter is you're going to go get the Tide washing powder as opposed to the generic washing powder. And the same thing. So the advertisers are paying attention, but people don't know the power, particularly black people in this country. They don't know the power of their purchasing dollar. That's just completely different. Now, here's another aspect of the problem I had with the Colin Kaepernick situation that we don't pay no attention to. Now I'm about to get into name calling. And this is my segment called Inside the Coon Theater. You know how they had Inside the Actors Studio? Inside the Coon Theater. They keep finding these black people to speak out against Colin Kaepernick. The microphone can always find its way to the mouth of a Ray Lewis, Jim Brown, all these different athletes. What's the boy out of Buffalo, the running back? Who's this? LaShawn McCoy. They can always find them. Now, I'm pretty sure there are several athletes, professional athletes, black and white, who are 100% in support of Colin Kaepernick's protests when he did it, who are against him being blackballed in the NFL now. But they only shoved the mic in their face one time. They shoved the mic in their face. They don't hear what they want. and then they shut that shit down. You never hear from them again. LeBron James has spoken out about it once. Nobody's asked him anything else about it. Steph Curry spoke out about it once. He spoke out in support about it. Nobody said anything else. Mark Cuban, owner of the Dallas Mavericks. Well, this is basketball, but anyway. He said that Colin Kaepernick's protest would be welcome in the NBA. We've only heard from him one time. But we constantly get a cool-ass, buck-dancing, tight suit-wearing, preaching in his living room, Ray Lewis. And let me tell y'all something about Ray Lewis. I know some Ray Lewis business. I know part of the reason why Ray Lewis retired. After he won the Super Bowl. Ray can still play. What Ray got in the AFC Championship game? Ray got what, 17 tackles? That don't sound like nobody that can't play football no more. No, it's not. So let me tell you a little bit of Ray Lewis business. Because despite him being big as shit, I will whoop his ass. But Ray Lewis retired, coincidentally, when one of his children's mothers was asking for an increase in child support. I know this woman because we used to work together. We used to work together in the government. I used to do desktop support at EEOC, and she was employed with the government there. And then she had a mortgage brokerage business, and I put their computer network together. So I know this woman. And the entire time while we were working together, me and another coworker that we have, we always thought that the stuff she had was because of her professional athlete's baby father giving her money, coming from the child support. This woman had a Benz one year, Range Rover the next year. And she always had a luxury vehicle, new vehicle every year. She had a $1.25 million house out in Fort Washington, Maryland. I ain't going to get into the particulars and identify who she is. If she listens, she know I'm talking about her. And when she filed for the increase, it shocked me. Because you know how much I believe her son was 10 or 11 at the time when she filed for the increase. And Ray had just come off that big contract. You know how much he was giving her monthly for child support? $1,500. It came out once they started reporting on it. But Ray Lewis was giving her $1,500 a month. And what happened was some business had went bad. Some stuff went down because the market had crashed. The real estate market had crashed. She began to lose a lot of business because of that, because that was what was going on at the time. I was a loan officer in her brokerage company, and it just was no business coming in. So she's starting to liquidate everything and then selling it off in order to save her. And then she eventually had to sell out the house and everything. And then one of the people that worked with the company ended up suing her, and she didn't respond to the judgment, and they got like $1 million default. So she had to do all kind of thing to protect herself financially. But what Ray was trying to say was, so she only wanted the increase because she then went through all of this, and she's trying to get money to pay her bills. Well, nigga, you only been paying her $1,500 a month for months. I'm telling this business. Locker room. My locker room people gonna call me. That's my sports organization. Y'all know I'm not lying about this. I said this years ago. But Ray Lewis was avoiding. He retired to duck child support, to duck that wreck. Exactly. Ray, if you need to research it. I'm not gonna give her name. But research right during the time when Ray Lewis was about to retire, he had gotten an increase in child support. She filed for modification. The man had been giving her $1,500 a month. He was a professional athlete when their son was born. He gave her $1,500 a month. She accepted that for 10 or 11 years. And the minute she go to get a modification, Mr. Tight Suit wearing, Christian, fake Christian, because he got all these baby mamas like me, he retired. He chose to retire instead of giving her what was her just due. So here it is. We got this Negro, and y'all gonna see a little bit of Ray Lewis in the future. Trust me. But you have this guy who he's what I call a Negro buffer. if you notice, when it comes to issues with Freddie Gray, they trotted Ray Lewis out. And what did Ray Lewis say? What about black on black crime? When they start marching through the streets in Baltimore, what did Ray Lewis say? What about black on black crime? When it came to the Colin Kaepernick situation, what did Ray Lewis say? What about black on black crime? Well, Ray, what about black on black crime? Because black on black crime is a 365-day-a-year systematic problem. It's systemic. And we don't hear from your fuckboy ass until somebody raises the issue of police brutality, the police killing somebody unarmed, black or brown. Then you trot your tight suit, different flower in your lapel pocket wearing ass out, and you want to fucking preach about black on black crime. Get your goofy ass off the air and stay the fuck. I know you need a job, but shut your punk ass up. Because you the same one who talk about black on black crime. It was your son that got indicted or got charged with sexually assaulting a woman. So before, you know, when you live in glass houses, you shouldn't throw stones. And we don't need you to deflect or distract from that. We know you trotted your monkey ass up in there to meet President Orange Peel. You did that before. You went out there with your hand out. You and Jim Brown. Yeah, I'm going to go on Jim Brown too because, you know, I know y'all, a lot of y'all say he's an icon. But there's a little bit about Jim Brown that got some dirt on it too. But we're going to stick with Ray right now. But they keep trotting out these Negroes who have a tendency to, they serve a purpose. And a lot of times people don't even realize that they identifying with them. You know, Jim Brown. Let's just jump into Jim Brown. Before I jump into Jim Brown, I'm going to take a break. Y'all give me a few minutes to come back because we got to pay some bills. And this is the Streetz Iz Talking radio station. Y'all see the number up on the screen. You can call it, and 301-288-3100. I'm going to need y'all to call in with some questions, but, you know, give me a few minutes. I'm going to be right back.
On a map, we carry quite a heavy load, separating boys from men because it's the end of the road. 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 End of the road.
Ladies and gentlemen, the outlet presents. Ladies and gentlemen, the outlet presents. Ladies and gentlemen, the outlet.
When Mark Attack is in the room, I grab the mic and drop bombs. From here to Guam, I'm a house like Uncle Tom's. I stay on top of things and stay above the whacking like the sons of Gestapo. I'm tearing up tracks, derail your thought train, and now you need room to breathe. With flows from off the top of the head, just like a weaver 49er like rice. I grab mics and get nice, make phonies pay the price and leave them shook like dice. I leave plumber class confused with stupid looks on their grill, and I don't owe anybody, but I'm still getting bills. I spend them, never lend them, never send them to a silly girl. I kick a man while I stepped in the place to catch wreck on the track with dead present day space. 3 fly MCs doing damage to 3 mics. We got hype and now we're out like 3 strikes.
I feel worse than the kid who sell his body. Sometimes I think I could bag any damn hottie. Some nights I brag about the L's that I smoke. Then I wake up from the phlegm that I choke. Some people say I'm juvenile and immature. Someday I hope to go celebrate on tour. Some way, somehow, this mic will get torn. Somewhere in Philly, they call me the Jorn. Something tells me that these kids ain't ready. Someone in the crowd never seen rock steady. Some big ego kid will snatch the mic for a thrill. Or some fake funky in the sack will make a mill. So touch the mic, it's a total disaster. Some people can't see this, they need lens crafters. You come around but laser beams are shot through. Some jams was destined to be named, it's all for you.
it's all for you. It's really all for you. It's all for you. It's really all for you. It's all for you. It's really all for you.
same. I deal with bigs now, Zippo's my old claim. Any once man with the right catchphrase. Any night you thought different, rhyme pace. Anything you want, I give it to you in a second. Only if it don't deal with dead presidents. Any residents from Queensbridge back to the Bronx. Best realize the talent of two honks. Any term used must have a preface. Me and my huff on Dutchess, that's hash lace. Anyone with a runny nose is on coke. Any hooker on smack got blue lips and can't cope. Any fine line can be walked by any man. Any hard breaks, please don't misunderstand. Anybody seen that high and mighty crew? Anybody heard that jam? It's all for you.
It's all for you. It's really all for you. It's all for you. It's really all for you. It's all for you. It's really all for you. It's all for you. It's really all for you.
Every which way, anyhow, some way, somehow. Anytime, everywhere, someone comes on. Who we is who we be. The high mighty tree, from branches to stances, eon comes complete. Mr. to you, you won't be true. Rhyme 10 B's and now the only thing in season. All the way down when you come down. It's really all for you. Everybody talks about digging in the crates. Not everybody knows Bob Dole from Bob James. Everything in hip-hop that I hold sacred is being ignored. The shit stripped buck naked. Every time I think the city's so glamorous. Every day I come home, see on my steps with. I wonder, is it dog or human? Now every lap I run, I feel like a new man. Everyone says I'm nice on grass like Cypress. Every gray hair I get is due to damn stress. Everywhere I go, I think I see Susanna. Now every night I jerk it to Savannah. Now every dead poet once had a notepad. In 2002, it'll be a keypad. The Eastern Conference ain't a man, it's a crew. We're glad that you dug it, that's why it's all for you.
It's all for you. It's really all for you. It's all for you. It's really all for you. It's all for you. It's really all for you. It's all for you. It's really all for you.
NYC, it's all for you. Yes, Philly, it's all for you. TJ Jazz.
Yeah, I'm back. This is your boy TJ, the Chicago kid, here on Streetz Iz Talking Radio on the Rip Radio Network. Oh, I got a phone call coming in. I think this is who I think it is. This is a 601 number. Yes, this is my boy. Bring him on up. This is my man. Caller from the locker room. This is Coach CP2000 coming in with the sports reports. Come on in, Chris. What's up with you?
Yo, what's good, man? What's good with you?
Man, I'm chilling, man. I've been going on a sports rant today because my co-host ain't here. But I'm trying to break some shit down. But I know we got some other sports stuff we could talk about. I know you ain't got that much time because you coaching that Cambodian midget basketball team. So what you got for us today?
Look, man, this is a lot going on in the sports world, man. It just broke not too long ago that Paris will host the 2024 Summer Olympics, and Los Angeles, California, got the 2028 games.
Okay, I can get ready for that.
We got Russell. Oh, you gonna try to make it for that, man?
Yeah, I'm gonna try to make it. I'm gonna figure out what sports I'm trying to participate in.
Man, you're gonna be like 75 years old in 2028, man.
Hey, fuck it, my nuts.
Playing that far ahead?
Hey, I'm gonna do something. I'm gonna do motherfucking crackhead toss. Go ahead. What else you got for us?
All right, we got Russell Westbrook, man. He signed the most lucrative Jordan brand deal ever. It's a 10-year extension. They said it's the most lucrative, but we got to take their word for it. No financial terms have been disclosed.
Right.
The Cleveland Indians won their 20th straight game last night.
God damn.
To tie the Oakland A's for the longest winning streak in the expansion era. John Jones has continued the road to destruction. The B sample from his drug test has confirmed his anabolic steroid use.
He's done. He's done.
Yeah, he's out of there, man. He's out of there. It's over with for him. Deontay Wilder is finally going to get tested. It's confirmed. It's official for November 4th in Brooklyn, the Barclays Center.
Who he fight?
Deontay Wilder versus Luis Ortiz.
Ooh, he might get his ass knocked out.
Yeah. Yeah, he might get a boxing lesson, or he might land that windmill right, man. You never know.
Yeah, yeah. What else we got?
So, well, we also, man, ESPN has continued to disrespect Carmelo Anthony, man, ranking him number 64 behind the likes of Lonzo Ball, Covington, the small forward from Philadelphia.
Robert Covington.
I mean, they just did it.
I played football. I played football with Robert Covington's father in high school. Me and his daddy, Dennis Bryan, went to school together. He was my quarterback.
Hey,
I was his
man,
fullback.
Look. Y'all could have played football together, smoked weed together. He ain't better than Hoodie Mello, man. He is not better than Hoodie Mello.
They put oatmeal face in front of Mello.
Yeah, oatmeal face, triple B's, never lost. He's ahead of Mello. And one last thing, man, before I get out of here, man, we got to discuss this. Adrian Broner is walking around knocking out civilians in Vegas, and then predictably he goes to Instagram and cries out for help. What we gonna do with that young man?
What Adrian need is some big homies around him that ain't on his payroll. He needs some big homies around him to snatch him up and tell him he need to get his shit together, because what's happening is he making a lot of money. He making a big-ass fool of himself. And every time he gets ready to fight, he's supposed to be serious. Then he get his ass whooped, and then he go do something stupid, and he becomes suicidal and needing help. Rinse, wash, repeat. I'm sick of that shit.
Yeah.
They're going to drop the hammer.
His baby mama tired of him too, man.
Yeah, I noticed in that video that the woman that was pulling on him wasn't his baby mama. She's a wide-hip, big booty girl, and his baby mama kind of slim. That wasn't her. So I'm thinking that's what that suicide shit was about. Because when I looked, she wasn't following him no more on his Instagram, and her page is private.
Yeah, she said something about she didn't run out of love. She ran out of something, I don't know. But you know, one of those inspirational quotes, man, some Marilyn Monroe type shit. And last but not least, man, Los Angeles Lakers will be retiring number 8 and number 24 for the Black Mamba, Kobe Bryant.
Jordan Light.
Hey man,
Jordan Light.
I'm gonna drop that and leave you with that, because not even Jordan got both numbers retired, boss.
Oh boy, man, look. This is
next week, man. I'll let you next week.
Yeah, we got a big week coming up. We got the Canelo Triple G fight. I got Triple G. I don't like either fighter, but it is what it is. My mic went out. I can't hear. I can't hear my mic in here. You still there, Chris? Okay, he gone. Yeah, he left us with that. Yeah, the Lakers are retiring both of Kobe's numbers, but you know, I'm cool on Kobe. Kobe was dope, but he's still not the GOAT. And that's that. We also got a fight coming up. He didn't say nothing about it because we really big fight fans. I've been trying to get CP to do a podcast, a sports podcast, because we got this sports group on Facebook and be popping. It's called the Locker Room, and you know we get it in. So I'm gonna get him to do that. But he gonna be doing my sports. He's a country dude down in Mississippi, but he a good dude. He just ain't shit. But back to what I was saying, before I left, went and peed and washed my hands, unlike some of you white folks out there. I was talking about Jim Brown, because I guess I got to spend a little time on this Colin Kaepernick protest. I got a whole another hour to run my fucking mouth, and I can do that easily. Jim Brown, he's flipped on us. Now, I know a lot of you all understand and say that Jim Brown is an icon and that Jim Brown is, he's done a lot in the community. Let me give you all a little history lesson on Jim Brown. While Jim Brown has, in fact, advocated for him, advocated for, you know, the gang violence in Los Angeles, and he gets kudos for that. But Jim Brown mainly is being associated with the athlete summit that all these black American athletes had stood behind Muhammad Ali when Muhammad Ali had refused induction into the army to go to Vietnam. And we see the famous picture of, you know, Ali sitting at the table and Jim Brown and Lou Alcindor and all these different athletes behind them. But here is a little known fact about that didn't come out until recently. Bob Arum, who is the, I guess the CEO or the president of Top Rank Promotions, he used to be the promoter for Muhammad Ali during that time. And Bob Arum is a former attorney turned boxing promoter, and he just so happens to be Jewish. And I don't even know why I just threw that in there, but I just had to float that out there. But Bob Arum came out recently during an interview, and he pretty much shed a lot of light on that summit. The Athlete Summit was actually Bob Arum's idea. Bob Arum, who was promoting Ali, who at the time couldn't get Ali a license, who at the time couldn't get Ali a fight, was trying desperately, because Ali making money means Bob Arum made money. He wanted Jim Brown to actually go and talk Muhammad Ali into accepting induction. So it was that Athlete Summit was never originally about getting Muhammad Ali, giving him support. It was, he gathered all of those athletes together. These are the words of Bob Arum. These aren't mine. You can research this. Google is your friend. But he wanted those athletes to assemble to talk to Muhammad Ali into accepting induction into the United States Army. And Muhammad Ali, he says, ended up over the course of 4 hours of meeting with all of them, while they're trying to convince him, he ended up convincing all of them why they should support him refusing induction instead of trying to convince him to. So Jim Brown's purpose in that was to serve Bob Arum's purpose, which was not supportive of Muhammad Ali going into the military. He wanted Muhammad Ali to say, yes, I'm going in. Now we got to fast forward it. After beating on a few women, which Jim Brown has been charged with, accused of, convicted, I don't know, trying to throw one out of a hotel window, Jim Brown marches his monkey ass up there with that tight suit, funny flower, bad hairline having ass Ray Lewis to meet Donald Trump prior to Donald Trump's election inauguration.
I notice everybody you hate has a tight suit.
Man, you know the mother got a tight ass suit on, bought at motherfucking Value City and shit. Jim Brown went up there and actually came out singing Donald Trump's praises. Now, a little over a year ago, Jim Brown said that while I don't support his stance on the flag, I would have never done that, but I support what he's doing 100%. This was prior to the meeting with Donald Trump, because of course, election is November 6th. Prior to that, this is what Jim Brown said, because they noticed that Colin Kaepernick was doing it. They asked the great Jim Brown what he thought. He said, I wouldn't have done it as far as the national anthem and the flag, but I support him 100%. Well, maybe about 2 or 3 weeks ago, they called Jim Brown again. Jim Brown did a complete 180. For those of you all listening, it's not 360. 360 is a full circle. You motherfuckers don't do math. It's 180. He reversed course. Said the total opposite. Start saying shit like Colin Kaepernick needs to decide whether he's going to be an athlete or activist. That puts you into the mind of the same man that had that Black Athlete Summit. Either you're going to be a boxer or you're going to be an activist. That's the same shit he went in there. That's the same mentality he went in there to talk to Jim Brown with. And see, people look at him and say, you know, he's older, he's done his time. The fact of the matter is, you got to call a spade a spade. You can't call a tree a blade of grass. It's a fucking tree. And despite what he has done in his past, yes, I do not deny the fact that Jim Brown has done good in the black community and trying to use his influence to quell the violence. But the fact of the matter is, Jim Brown has been, and he wasn't exactly a $40 million Negro, which is the book, because normally once a week I'm going to be telling you all about books that I wrote. I read. This is a book by William Rodin called $40 Million Negro. And this is what you see with a lot of these athletes. They're so protected well, I won't necessarily say protected, but they use their income as a shield. You know, I've come from nothing. I've come from poverty. Therefore, now that I have this amount of money in my bank account and this money coming in to help my family, I'm not going to speak out to possibly hurt my value. So I'm going to say the opposite. If you really think about Jim Brown, what Jim Brown said in the beginning was just him responding. What he said a couple of weeks ago about Colin Kaepernick is who he is as a person. Let me explain something to you all about this flag situation. First of all, fuck that flag. Back when everybody was having this problem about the Confederate flag, we need to take it down, blah, 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 blah. Okay, cool. As you see on my head, I have what appears to be American flag, but it's red, black, and green. The colors are red, black, and green. I'm not a hotep. I'm not a black nationalist in that sense. But, you know, the American flag is no better than the Confederate flag. Why? Here's why. I want y'all to pay close attention. What happened under the Confederate flag that didn't happen under the American flag? The Confederate flag is a result of the Louisiana Purchase happening, the North not allowing anything west of the Louisiana Purchase. They forbid slavery from happening. And the Southerners felt like, hey, you all are trying to crush us in our industry. We're going to separate because we want to be able to have slavery in those expanded states where they would taking the land from the Native Americans and giving them to white folks. And what they did was they end up created the Confederate States of I guess the Confederate States of United States of America, whatever the fuck it is. They came up with the Confederate flag, the rebel flag. Well, prior to that rebel flag, the institution of slavery was in place under the American flag. So what's the difference? Why do we as black people get so upset about seeing the Confederate flag when nothing that happened under the Confederate flag didn't happen under the American flag? Before the Confederate flag, it was the American flag that flew in the South. Do you all not understand that? And we get so upset when we see shit like Robert E. Lee. We see his statue up and these images of these Confederate soldiers, and we getting so worked up about those statues. But newsflash, wasn't the father of this country a slave owner? He owned slaves. In fact, at the time of his death, I think they owned about 300 slaves. And although he wrote it in his will, he emancipated those slaves, but he got use out of every nigga that he owned up until the point that he died. Right. Fast forward. You look at the founding fathers. There weren't many of the members of the founding fathers who were slave owners. Thomas Jefferson, we know, was a slave owner. He was not only a slave owner, he was a fucking child molester, because Sally Hemings was a very young girl when he was talking about she was in love. No, wasn't no slave in love with their master to the point, and wasn't no slave master. I mean, she was still a slave. He still went in and sit that pussy whenever the fuck he wanted to. So we get upset about things with the flag. No, fuck that flag. The flag, I don't get the two mixed up. I don't separate the two. What happened under one happened under the other. And we can't continue to allow ourselves to be distracted by that. So, and getting back to Jim Brown. Jim Brown is the same person. 2 or 3 weeks ago, he's that same person that went in to meet with Muhammad Ali. So he has a purpose. He's serving his purpose. And so are all of these other professional athletes that are coming out and they're speaking against Colin Kaepernick. They're serving a purpose. They're not talking to someone who's articulate. They don't stick the mic in front of Richard Sherman's face too much. Because see, Richard Sherman was pretty much against the Black Lives Matter thing, and but he came around. And so did Doug Baldwin. They came around. And once they came around, they were constantly asking, what about the Seattle Seahawks? What are Seattle Seahawks going to do? And they did their show of unity where they locked arms and shit, and they was okay to talk to. But then once they realized that Colin Kaepernick was being blackballed, now nobody asked Richard Sherman about it anymore. Nobody asked Doug Baldwin about it anymore. They wouldn't have asked the Bennett brothers, they wouldn't have asked them shit about it. But they had to, because he got into that problem with the police. They would have let him and Marshawn Lynch, they would have let them sit over there quietly, sit down on the bench. Let's just not, it's something that we would call, something that came out of the Nixon administration to call benign neglect. And what they said during the Nixon administration, when you have all of this civil rights unrest going on in America, they say, you know what, our new policy is to just act like it's not happening. We're just not going to even address it. If we don't address it, it'll go away. It'll go away quietly. It's like, you see, when you in the department store and you see the little white kid on the ground going crazy, and the mother don't just letting them wild the fuck out on the floor and throwing the temper tantrum, because eventually they'll figure that the child will come to their senses and just go away. And this is the benign neglect that now they're starting to display on this issue. We're just gonna act like it's not gonna happen. We're gonna act like Marshawn ain't sitting down. We will highlight him running the fuck over somebody. But as far as him sitting on that damn bench during the national anthem, we're not going to talk about that. As far as the Bennett brothers sitting down, we're not going to talk about that. Raising their fists, we're not going to talk about that. And eventually they figure it will go away because black people need to be entertained. So we got a phone call coming in. Caller, where you calling from? What's your name and where you calling from?
This is your neighbor, nigga, Fred.
Oh, what up? How that tablet working out for you, pimp?
That tablet is working fine, pimp. So look, let me get out on this thing, man. You know I got to support you. You're my neighbor, 2 doors down. I've been listening from the beginning of the show, so let me get a piece of this thing here. I'm going to start with Jim Brown. You know, Brown is an iconic figure in the black community, and either 1A or 1B in terms of being the greatest football player to ever lace up a pair of cleats in terms of the National Football League. But I'm disappointed in Brown because I'm familiar with the Kaepernick situation ad infinitum, and I do agree with you that Brown did a 180, but you got to understand, and you just touched on it, why Brown did it. Brown is working for a white owner in Cleveland, and I think Brown is more interested in his pocketbook than civil rights and the concerns of people of color in this country at this point in his life. You know, he's at the end of the road to a great degree. And basically, the way I see Brown now, he's a house nigga, a pasteurized, homogenized Oreo cookie whose deep-seated desire to be liked is intensified when set against a backdrop of brownie points and promotions. And I am deeply disappointed because if you would have asked me a year ago or 5 years ago if Brown would have done this, I would have said no. But as you know, when you get hungry or thirsty, you might drink some piss if you think it's going to keep you alive, or eat some boo-boo if you think it's going to kill your hunger. So I'm disappointed in Brown. Now, on the Kaepernick, I got tremendous respect for Kaepernick because unlike most athletes today, Kaepernick stands for something. And it's too bad that the black athlete in the United States, for the most part, no longer stands for anything. And white structure, the dominant culture in America, understands that. And for the most part, all these niggas are, like you said, $40 million slaves. That's the true title of William Cohen's book. And I read it twice. Hell of a book. So, yeah, you need to get some and maybe give some away to some callers. But
yeah,
I do agree that we got a lot of $40 million slaves in the United States, especially in the form of the black athlete. And I don't really see it changing because a lot of times we get culturally conditioned and we forget what our real purpose is and the platform that we have. So kudos to Kaepernick. on my way out, I want to say that the National Football League Players Association executive director, he should be bitch slapped. Because the Kaepernick situation is a labor issue first. Because Kaepernick is clearly one of the 60 best quarterbacks in the free world, and for Kaepernick not to have a job is criminal. And this is one of the reasons why the gentleman is in danger of being replaced. He should have at least one relationship with one white NFL owner to at least get Kaepernick in a camp so Kaepernick can become eligible to make a 53-man roster. But Maurice Smith didn't even have a relationship with one owner. What does that say about him as a leader? Because when Gene Offshore was alive, this would have never happened on his watch. He had a relationship with Tagliabue. But Maurice Smith doesn't have a relationship with anybody. Even his constituents, some of them don't like him and want him out. So I'm disappointed. He should be bitch slapped. If I see him in the area, I'm going to kick his ass myself for Kaepernick not being on a roster in the National Football League playing. That's it, TJ. So I'll see you later on, Pimp. I appreciate you.
All right, bro. That's my neighbor. That's my neighbor Fred. I consider him one of the most knowledgeable football guys. Like literally, this dude sits and study game tape. He's in all of the groups. He studies everything, and what he says is basically, essentially right. The president of the National Football League Players Association needs to get a wedgie, because I mean it's the weakest professional sports union in professional sports, and he's sitting back and letting it happen. But yes, that's my feelings on the Colin Kaepernick situation. I wish it wasn't that way. Unfortunately, it is. And I'm going to continue to not watch the NFL. I'm going to do shit on Sundays. I'm going to binge watch Game of Thrones. Do you watch Game of Thrones? Bruh, I started it the other day. Because I kept seeing people talking about it. You know, I'm not really a big TV guy. I really don't watch the reality shows. And I don't get caught up because I could get so much done instead of being a slave in front of a television. Not saying that everybody that watches television is a slave, but, you know, to become so codependent on a show to get you through the day, I find other ways to entertain myself.
I tried to watch Game of Thrones, but there were a couple of scenes on there that, and trust me, I'm not a censorship type of person, but there's some things I see on shows I can't watch it.
Well, one thing about Game of Thrones is a lot of fucking on that show.
Yeah, and all types too.
Every episode.
And all types. And all,
I think that's just written in the contract. Every episode, some woman or dude got to get their back blown out.
Or two dudes.
Or two dudes.
Yeah.
It's just, it's a lot of fucking going on in that show.
Nothing against homosexuals. I don't have nothing, but that's just not my thing.
I mean, I ain't got nothing against homosexuals, but let me just make this disclaimer. And it might not be the most popular, but one thing you're not going to get from me is bullshit. I'm not going to tiptoe around the homosexual issue. I just refuse to fucking do it. And being in this chair, and I'm going to be in this chair for a while, I'm going to say some shit about everybody. I'm going to say some shit about black people I don't like, white people I don't like, Jewish people I don't like. If you can sit and listen to me and be entertained by the shit I say about others, and I'm going to say some fucked up shit. If you can sit and be entertained by others, but then when I hit your particular demographic, you become sensitive, fuck you and the horse you rode in on. So to all my gay listeners, my lesbian listeners, my bisexual listeners, my transformer, you know, Decepticon listeners, if I say some shit about the LGBT community that you don't like, and you've been laughing at me making jokes about black people and everybody else, you're just going to have to tough it the fuck out or turn the station, because what I'm not fist to do, now I'm about to speak like I'm from the west side of Chicago. What I'm not fist to do is to change, curtail, or to put some kind of muffle on myself to make you motherfuckers comfortable. If you could take a nigga joke, you could take a faggot joke. Go ahead.
And we really need that on this network. It's too many people been PC for too long. So we're going to call you the Black Bill Maher. How about that?
You know, going back to the days of MySpace, I was always Captain Controversy. That used to be one of my names, Captain Controversy. Because I'm going to say fucked up shit, but I'm going to say what you're thinking.
Exactly.
I'm going to say exactly what you're thinking because I have the freedom to do so. I'm self-employed. I own my own business. If you don't want to work with me, that's fine. I'm never going to even promote my business on the show unless somebody forces my hand, because that's not what I'm here for. But if I say something, I'm saying it with free conscience and as a free black man to speak my mind on issues exactly the way I feel, like a lot of people feel who don't have the same platform. So I'm either going to be the motherfucker that you don't like, or I might be your voice and your champion. But that's just to the gay community, because I see a lot of times they'll be in a comedy club, for instance, and they'll be laughing at all the jokes in the comedy clubs. And you know how black comedians are. We talk about everybody. But the minute you make a joke about gay people, they've been coming out the transgender, transformer, Decepticon community, been coming out against Dave Chappelle as of late. And I say fuck them. Because you shouldn't have your funky ass up in the goddamn club laughing at his jokes about everybody else. Because I know Dave says nigga a lot and you don't get offended. Dave makes jokes about Hispanics, you don't get offended. Dave makes jokes about women, you don't get offended. But the minute he makes a joke as it relates to the LGBT community, now all of a sudden you want to get your soft, wide booty ass up, and you want to get, and I know I got gay people listening to this, but you don't like it, fuck you. You gonna laugh at some shit I say about somebody else. You better be able to take that motherfucking joke like you take dick. Go ahead.
And you know what? I love that, because the society has become way too sensitive, including us black people, way too sensitive. It's like anything can be said, and we be like, why did you say that? What were you saying that for? He shouldn't have said that. We've become way too sensitive, and I think what you're bringing, you know, just first time show already is got my eyes.
Yeah, I've been watching some of the shows, and I've been like,
yeah, it's just everybody's too PC. Everybody's trying to say the right thing, and it's just not how it should be. And I appreciate you bringing this breath of fresh air to this network. Lord knows we need.
Let me tell you something, bruh. They should have told you about me. Ty should have told. Because, see, I came on before with my boys. You know, I had my mentor group that I was mentoring. I got to go see them, too, because I want to have them back on the show, too. But I came in and I had my little dashiki on. And I don't want people to think that that's all who I am. I love people. I love black people in particular. But if you do something, you gonna get it. I just spent the last hour and a half going in on this NFL bullshit. And that's something that I can speak on in depth because I have a little knowledge about it. And I didn't criticize no white folks. That's just the appetizer. Everybody gonna get it on this show. Trust me. Trust me. Caitlyn Jenner might get some bars. You know, you gonna get it. And I can't concern myself about your feelings. You know, I can't concern about myself trying to say the right thing to appease everybody. I'm not a religious person. I'll be the first to admit it. I'm agnostic. I done been some everything. I done been Christian. I done been Baptist. I done been Muslim. I done been everything. One thing I know from being a Christian and reading the Bible, and I'm not trying to be spiritual about it, but it said that Jesus came with the perfect message. And that perfect message still ended up with him with nails through his hands and through his feet. So no matter who you are, and no matter what you say, you're going to always find somebody that don't fucking like it. You always going to find somebody that are going to be offended by it. So I'm not about to police my language and do that type of shit. So y'all are stuck with me for the season. And he's saying this shit now, but it is my goal to make him red in the face with some shit that I say. I didn't do it today, and I got some shit coming. Trust me. You all think you all that know me. But I've been really, really brainstorming on what I want to do with this fucking show. I want this to be something like the Black CNN and for us to be able to break the videos and shit like that. And it's going to be a lot of shit that's going to make people sitting there, you're going to crack up. You might cringe, but this is just not going to be me sitting here with guests and just ranting aimlessly. Because, you know, no disrespect to any of the other shows. I'm not worried about y'all whooping my ass. I'm not. I've had to deal with that all my life. I was the smallest kid in the class, and until I got a little size on me and I learned how to fight good, I had to be able to use language to be able to, you know, de-escalate situations, make motherfuckers laugh, not to fuck me up, until I can get to this point where I defend myself. Now, I can throw hands, but I'm not worried about you whooping my ass about some shit I say. You're just going to have to deal with what I say, and you're going to have to come with the facts, because even though you have an opinion, that don't mean shit to me when I have the facts. So, moving on to the next subject. I have a, we're going to take a break real quick, but when I come back, a real quick break, when I come back, what I'm going to do on a weekly basis, give you all the opportunity to promote your businesses. This week, I'm doing it for a friend of mine. She's my birthday sister. We got the birthdays on the same day. I'm going to get her on the phone. It's going to be a fucked up story I got to tell. But we're going to get her on the phone in a second because she got some good stuff going on, and I want to be able to share it with you all. So we're going to take a quick break right back. This is your boy TJG Chicago Kid. This is Streetz Iz Talking Radio on the RIP Radio Network.
Ill-advised, yes. Rashid, where you be? The high and the mighty. Something from 1983.
Cooperville, boondocks, it's leaky. Underground with periscopes. Can be sneaky, God I take mine. That's how I find every air like me. At nighttime you still shine. Hold up the weight, cause I'm godly great. I massacrate, strangulate. When you regulate, squash the bait, never let it marinate. What I own I make this the shake. Your whole posse, when you think you got me terrorizing is my job. Aight, Poppy, don't give a f, cause you got my side. So on your bomber clock, but your boys better hide. Shut my sleeves, for days, months, and years. I'll be planning fair calls, you to drop tears. I come through, I keep my wicked. I bring the Allen Payne, I Jada Pickett, I stick it. Tryna run against my squad. That's when I take charge, ball guard, and put your card. I be the eye guard, I stays on my job. I don't give a what if he married to the mob. Roughnecks, your head and bust your calibers. I be busting arithmetic, geometry, and algebra. Science and magnitude, and superscription, superstructure. From the fall to the winter, do not enter through the dangerous gases. I force like tasks and I harass his masses. Bend your feet out the frame like glasses. You and your man with the VIP passes.
MCs think they rhymes is milk. When I'm busting up your styles, I feel no guilt. What? Do Mars catching tracks 4D from the boondocks to MAG.
They wanna know how I feel. This my style, and I must appeal. Back again, I fill up the park. My shit next like the Brooklyn Bridge, FDR. I'm seen, heard with the homeless team. No dream, real God is a physical being. I will step to your fault like green. Wrote you with lyrics, somebody got to feel it, I distill it. Through my ways and my words, mandatory skills like the first and the third. Heavy backed up like the bridge when you're spurred. When I observe, I kick and fill to the curb. Who wanna run against the MAG, the GOD from the BKNYC? We made the alligator, we Fat Homies Way Production. They go to the Azars. Hold up. 97 the Boondocks era. Slam there in this unknown terror.
Isolated in my own world, I dwell like a zombie. Lost in my mind, trying to find my way back, but I don't know where to turn. It's like the devil got me trapped. No matter how I struggle, kid, I keep falling back. But however, yo, it's a must that I eat. That's why I'm back in heat on the street and take what I need. Get crime based, but it's still hard to earn. When I'm gone, my girl toss and turn and pray for my return. Get moves and never fake, son. Cause since money ain't falling from the sky, I gotta make some. And if not, I take some. By all means, taking up drug dealers for greens with the rest of the money fiends. I'm rolling thick with a Suriname click, setting up fake gangsters on the red light district. We moving quicker than your reflexes, rolling in Jiffy jeans, Gucci sweaters, and Nike Air Maxes. Operating deep on the Reebok street, yeah. My crew and I was like do or die, selling on the blocks with our mouth full of rocks and them babes in our socks. Stand by for undercover cops, cause we all had a certain dream, till the green took away the love in our team. So it seemed I had no real true friend. Niggas started acting mad strange when I sold another 2 gram. Your people change, kid, but money gets involved. They're getting jealous at you and talk behind your back too. That's why I roll alone and go out for wealth. Yo, it's God for all and every nigga for himself. Homie or not, if you're from you get shot. Niggas always talk shit, but they never step up. Yeah, homie or not, if you're from you get shot. Yo, it's God for all and every nigga for himself. Homie or not, if you're from you get shot. Niggas always talk shit, but they never step up. Yeah, homie or not, if you're from you get shot. Yo, it's God for all and every nigga for himself. You ever been in that situation? You're going out to get some fresh air, smoke away your frustration. Puffing weed till your throat is sore. Run to lead the streets behind, but there's nothing else to look out for. Yeah, I'm stuck, I ain't no welfare. Never finished school, I try to make a living with my tool. I kick some bumps now and then. Niggas scream, you the man, till my juice expand all over gangster damn. So I got biz with some peeps. I thank God for the funk, cause it get me off the streets. The hard struggle and all the trouble that goes along. Instead of bus cats, I bust raps till the crack of dawn. Chilling with my whole crew in the southeast, kicking rounds back to back, smoking trees with my homies. We did some shows and got mad respect, but instead of holding on, all my peeps were holding back. Yeah, my niggas rather got high and acted funny, while we all know still nothing moved but the money. So I invested my babes and breast tapes to get my name all around throughout the underground. Now I'm back on the block, but this time without drugs, selling my demos to all my fans and thugs. Now I'm the rumor on the streets, the flyers on the wall. But kid, before I knew I had struggles with my crew, they talking mad shit and started acting strange. So I left my home, so now I maintain with microphones. It's never safe and you think it is. Yeah, somehow the rap game reminds me of the crack game. Cause people change, kid, but money gets involved. They're getting jealous at you and talk behind your back too. That's why I roll alone and go out for wealth. Yo, it's God for all and every nigga for himself.
Hello.
She there. We about to bring you up.
Uh-oh, the phone breaking up. I can barely hear you.
We're about to bring you up.
Hello?
Yes, hold on, Negro.
Oh. Hey, Sugarfoot.
Shut up. I'm trying to introduce you, man. Welcome back, everybody, to Streetz Iz Talking radio show. This is your boy TJ, the Chicago Kid. And right now, during this segment, I want to feature a business. It's local here to the D.C. area. But don't think that those are the only businesses that I'm willing to feature. You all just got to hit me up, and I'm going to give you contact information at the end of the show. But I want to introduce you all to the proprietor of Miss Puddin'. Her name is Christine, my friend Christine, my birthday sister, because we got the same birthday. And she is the sole proprietor of this wonderful product that she produces. I'd like to introduce her. Miss Christine Sims, how you doing today, sweetheart?
Hello. I am doing awesome.
I told you not to call here with that professional bullshit. I told you that shit is not gonna fly on my show. We gon'
Listen, I'm at work.
You at work? Yeah, well, good, because I'm about to fuck with you while you at work on your job. I'm gonna make your it is my goal to make your ass blush. So before we get into this motherfucking product, let me tell you all who Christine is. Christine is, number one, she's a client of mine. I won't, like I say, I'm not gonna whore out my business until someone pushes me. But before that, Christine was the best friend, is the best friend of my ex. And like a good best friend will do, she get into some shit that she ain't got no business in. So so check it out. Hey Trump, check it out. So me and my ex had broke up, right? At this point now, I'm dating who would eventually become my wife. Well, she would become my ex-wife. And, you know, me and my ex, the girlfriend, who was Christine's best friend, I wasn't taking her calls because she was acting a goddamn fool. So quite naturally, I lived on the first floor of my apartment, my little struggle apartment, because I had, this motherfucker was just, my apartment was smaller than this fucking room, and it was a 2-bedroom. I'm talking about kitchen, living room, dining room, both bedrooms and bathroom. You could have put it in this in the studio twice. That's how small it was. I'm on the first floor. And I got these blinds that sit there, right? Now, I'm telling this story because I haven't told this portion of the story. So she calling me, and I don't answer the phone. They outside in the parking lot. Well, I wasn't answering, so they're going to drive out to the house. So, of course, when you ladies out there that's listening, y'all know y'all about to do some dumb shit. Y'all got to get a fucking accomplice, and y'all get y'all best friend to do some shit. So, so they drive out to my fucking apartment. I'm getting the house together because I got this new boo coming over. I didn't cook my little rice and chicken wing drumettes because that's all fuck I could afford to feed a motherfucker at the time. Some Uncle Ben's rice and some drumettes, no vegetables. Fuck that, I like starch. And they come to the house in the parking lot. I got the lights off. Did I have the lights off or did I have the lights on?
They were on. You were in the kitchen cooking.
I was in the kitchen. So I'm playing dumb like I don't know these motherfuckers is in the parking lot at my blinds like this, looking into the motherfucking the patio door, right? So
it's dark outside.
It's dark outside. They think I don't. They don't think I know they out there, but I know they motherfucking asses out there. So I said, I'm about to scare the shit out of these bitches. So I walk over to the door. They see me coming. These motherfuckers take off running. But Christine's balance ain't all that good. So in the sprint across the parking lot to get to the car, she fall and skin her fucking knees up and shit. They get in the fucking car and leave. But this is how me and Christine know each other. She's a very, very sweet person. She just finds herself in fucked up situations with her friends trying to support. Like, because, you know, when we gonna do dumbass shit,
ride or die,
she was riding, she still ride or die. But, you know, men, we don't do that type of shit. You know, women, this is how women do. When they get into relationship situations and it goes bad, they call all their girlfriends over. They might go out. They might stay in. They buy a bottle of Moscato, get the wine glasses out, sit around the table drinking their wine glasses. They cry together. They share stories of bad relationships and bad breakups. They support each other, and they move on. We as men, we don't do that. Because when we find ourselves in fucked up situations, we go out to the club, we go to the strip club, and we want to share all the fucked up shit that this bitch did to upset us. And instead of our friends being understanding, being supportive, being homies, the most we get out of the motherfuckers is, man, fuck that bitch. That's what we get. So women, I just need you all to know I support you all, and I appreciate the support you show each other, because that's one of the advantages you got for having pussy. But anyway, moving forward. Christine has, and she gave me some samples. She came over very late at night. She had her kids in the car, but she said she was going to, because I told her I was going to put her on the show today. She said she was going to bring me some samples, and I can't eat it because I'm a diabetic. I'm going to be perfect. Make all the fucking jokes you want. You talk about I got motherfucking orange juice EpiPen or some shit like that. I don't give a fuck. But she has what's called her company's called Miss Pudding. Christine, tell us some more about it and how long you been doing it.
I've been doing Miss Pudding now for about 2 years, and what I do is I make cakes also, but my sole thing is to do banana pudding. I make banana, strawberry, and lemon, and I'm working on some new flavors now. I have them right now in a restaurant called Metro City Wings. It's on St. Barnabas Road in Temple Hills, Maryland, and it's pretty good. I got started making them because I would go to soul food restaurants, and their banana pudding would be nasty. So I had to start making it myself, and I'm like, mine tastes better than theirs. So that's how I got started. My pastor actually is the one who told me to start selling it because I was giving it away. And he was like, why are you giving this away? Sell it. And that's how I got started.
So you got it in a couple of months. Do you got them in see, my Aunt Faye, and some of y'all know who my Aunt Faye is. My Aunt Faye is my 74-year-old aunt. She's my mother's younger sister. My mother's deceased, and she's pretty much, she is the matriarch of our family. And Aunt Faye cusses a lot. I'm gonna get Trump the video next week. y'all got to get a taste of Aunt Faye. Those of y'all that don't know her, but she used to make banana pudding, but I don't really like banana. I don't like the taste of banana. I guess it's because bananas are shaped like dicks, and I don't want dick in my mouth. So I used to always eat the vanilla wafer cookies. And I don't eat the banana pudding, and I can't now because I'm a diabetic, and I don't want to pass out here because my sugar went up. But what I did was I gave the studio owner one. And I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. Christine, if this shit nasty, I'm come back. I'm talking about you next week. I'm talking about you like a motherfucker. If you tell me that this motherfucking banana pudding then gave his ass this pussy ass banana pudding and gave his ass the shits, or his blood pressure go up, or he pass out, he got stomach poisoning, I'm throwing you under the fucking bus. And I'm gonna throw you under the bus. So I trust that this is good, and that it's delicious.
Best ever had.
It's the best ever had.
That's the best he's ever had. Trust me, he didn't lick the spoon and the bowl.
Well, damn. You ain't got to turn it sexual, nigga.
I wasn't. Don't do that.
Fuck. Goddamn, it's banana pudding, nigga. We ain't talking about no motherfucking. You talking about licking bowls and bowls? The fuck? The fuck is wrong with you?
Give somebody that was in the studio who could have.
Well, I had a co-host who was supposed to be coming today, but she had some problems with her feet. She dropped the dumbbell on her toe, and she couldn't press the steering wheel, press the gas on the car to get here. So I had to do this shit solo, and I've been winging it for the last 2 fucking hours. But of course, when we come do business together, you might have an appointment at 3 o'clock, and don't leave at 6 because I'm sitting there running my motherfucking mouth, and I can do that easily for 2 hours. That's just none. That's not even an issue for me. But with Miss Banana Pudding, tell us again what stores you can find it in, because I know you're not going to be out making banana pudding deliveries, but where can they...
It depends on how much you order.
So if motherfucker order a lot, you'll come out and you'll bring them a whole motherfucking trough of banana pudding. You pull up in motherfucking...
Back that truck right on up.
Pulling up in a wagon, a horse-drawn wagon full of banana pudding, dropping the shit off. Where can they find your banana pudding? First of all, what store that they can find it in? Tell them what the location of it is.
The location is 4404 St. Barnabas Road, Temple Hills, Maryland. The zip is 20746, and the restaurant is called Metro City Wings. They got some really good crab fries. The crab cakes are excellent.
Okay, hey, fuck them. They're not motherfucking getting their goddamn. I'm trying to give you some pub, and you telling me about crab. I can't eat no fucking crabs because I'm allergic to shellfish. Here it is, your ass is promoting somebody else's shit. I'm trying to promote you. Can we stick to the pudding, nigga, please?
Okay, that's what my banana pudding is. It's in Metro City Wings, St. Barnabas Road. At IHOP.
Okay. And if they want to order a trough of, I know you take orders. If they're interested in ordering pudding directly from you, banana pudding directly from you, where should they contact you?
They can contact me 2 places: on Facebook at Miss, which is MS Puddin, Puddin, on Facebook, or they can send an email at missbananapudding@gmail.com, and that's MSBANANA PUDDIN@gmail.com.
Okay, Miss Pudding at gmail.com, and you fucked up your Facebook page. Your Facebook page, according to this damn thing I'm looking at, is ms.pudding, PUDDIN, and more. That's the Facebook page.
Okay.
Okay, so you fucked up. I gave you opportunity. You fucked up. Next time, how you gonna fucking have a commercial and you don't know how to properly promote your shit and where they need to go? See, this is why I don't help black people, because y'all don't never have your shit together.
You know what? My name on Facebook is miss.pudding.com. When you type it in the computer, it comes up like
flustered. She like, you gonna get my shit right, you blaster. I know where you live, nigga.
I sure do.
Okay, well, I'm glad to. I hope you get some business from this. Y'all order some of this pussy ass banana pudding that's gonna give you the shits. And
don't do that.
This banana pudding gonna motherfucker clear your whole insides out like motherfucking White Castle burger. Thank you, Chris. I just thought I'd do that favor for you. The rest of y'all gonna have to give me some free shit too if you want this motherfucking publicity on this motherfucking show, because I ain't gonna be plugging y'all shit and I can't tell you whether your shit is good or not. For y'all that cook that food, I got to visit your house first, because if you got a catering service, I want to make sure you got roaches. I don't want nobody directing no motherfucking business to nobody and they cooking and they got roaches in their motherfucking house talking about their almonds. Look, Christina, you better get back to work before they fire your red ass.
Listen, okay, let me get on back to work. They ain't gonna fire me though.
They ain't gonna fire you?
Let me get on back to work.
Okay, all right.
Nah, I do good work.
You do good work? Okay. All right. Well, I'm going to let you go. Look, check it out, y'all. We winding down the show. And it's been a long 2 motherfucking hours, man. I made it. I was nervous in the motherfucker when I came in here and my co-hosts ain't show up. That's right. I'm just, because a lot of dudes been asking about her, and I'm cursing her motherfucking ass out because she left me out here on stuck. I mean, shit happens, and I know shit happens at the last minute, and I thought she was gonna be here, but shit happens. If I have to replace her, I got to find somebody. I can't have sex with you. I know you're looking at my lips on this motherfucking camera, and they looking juicy, but I'm a church-going man, and I done gave my life to Jesus on Sundays, but not Tuesdays. So, yes, this has been an interesting 2 hours, man. I had some shit lined up. But because I was asking you about the music, because if you put music on certain shit and then you try to stream it, they won't let you stream it if it's mainstream music, and I got to get that together. But y'all live for some fucked up shit, because I have a very, very twisted mind. I smoke weed and I come up with all kind of stupid, ignorant, offensive shit, and I was gonna do that today, but I decided to pause on it. But when I send you videos that I don't even want you to watch it. I don't even want you to watch it until the show, because I want your natural reaction. In fact, when I do these videos, I'm going to want to see your face on the camera so you can see how fucked up it is. And I'm going to put this shit together. Who is texting me? Somebody want to hear a little more. Oh, my daughter's both of my daughters are majorettes, and she wants to hear more raunchy. Oh, you're gonna get raunchy. I'm trying to be, give y'all the first day, because I want y'all to know what y'all getting, because these coming weeks it's gonna be fucked up. Next week we'll actually have a topic. I'm gonna have a guest. 9 times out of 10, because my show is on from 2 to 4 in the afternoon, you're gonna have to be either self-employed or unemployed, because most people that got jobs can't take off to come in for shit like that. So I'm gonna need all the unemployed people to give me a call. If you have any products that you would like to produce, you can email me at streetziztalking@gmail.com. That is StreetzIzTalkin@gmail.com. Put whatever it is you want in the subject line. And tell me what you want. Ladies, if you want to send me nude pictures, I'll take those too. Shit, I take nudes. If you're looking to promote a product, if you sponsorships, let me just tell y'all some shit. Let me just get this clear. This shit costs. I want y'all to understand. This shit costs. So if you see me up here begging you for fucking money, that's what the fuck it is. If you want to advertise, I'm going to be good with you advertisement. I'll run you a motherfucking minute slot, 30-second slot during my show. I'm going to build this shit up. We going to get this shit right, because I'm just going to shit on all the other shows on the station. Y'all dry as fuck. Y'all corny. You got the gay dude in the daytime, Lonnie's T or whatever the fuck it is. Yeah, Lonnie, I watch your pussy ass show. All that fucking hollering you do. I wish you come in some motherfucking draws, some real man draws instead of a thong with your high voice ass. So I'm putting all y'all on spot. I'm shutting y'all shit down. I'm going to have a 5-day fucking show before this shit is all said and done, because apparently you pussy motherfuckers don't know how to do it. You want to sit here at the table and you want to run your goddamn mouth about basically fucking nothing and you ain't saying shit. So I'm throwing all you motherfuckers. This is me laying down the motherfucking gauntlet. If you don't have a motherfucking show that's worth a goddamn, then we shutting your shit down, because I'm going to take your motherfucking pussy ass slot too. Now, back to what I was saying about sponsors. How the fuck I'm gonna talk about everybody else on the show, then go back to sponsors? Look, if you got a product, y'all know how I am. I'm big on supporting black businesses. But with supporting black businesses, I'm a black business myself. And I'm gonna sit here right now and tell you, ain't nobody giving me this shit. This is not free. Let me just tell you how it works. This is not free. Just like Trump, who owns the station, he got his expenses. I got my fucking expenses too. I got gas. I got weed that I got to smoke. Backpage, Craigslist, whatever the fuck it is I got to do will come up with the content for this show. It's going to cost money. So I am looking for sponsors. I'm not going to look for the corporations, because I'm not going to let them influence my content, what I say, what I do. I don't want to be worried about pissing off Chrysler because I said, they should set all homosexuals on fire. If I say something like that, I don't want to be worried about nobody pulling the plug under me. Just know that I'm going to say what the fuck y'all thinking. Now, I'm going to tell y'all how to find me. Not literally, because I don't want you motherfuckers showing up at my house. I won't have to shoot you motherfuckers because you're so offended. I got 3 minutes left. You can find me on Instagram at TJ_the Chicago Kid. TJ_the Chicago Kid. I say fucked up shit there. I post fucked up pictures. I get fucked up opinions. You can find me on Twitter under Jokes Galore. Just how you spell it. JOKESGALORE. Jokes Galore at Twitter. And the Facebook, I'm gonna get Trump I'm gonna get all this shit together and put it on the links to the page so you all be able to find me. You can find me on the Facebook, but I ain't gonna tell y'all my government name. Those that know it. And yes, that's what we gonna do. I got a few seconds left. I just want to say something. It's gonna be a long ride, and I'm gonna try to get y'all through Wednesdays from 2 to 4. I just need y'all to give me a little time to get this shit structured, to get this shit together. And y'all been telling me to get a podcast. Those that know me know, y'all said get a podcast. I did one better. I got my own 2-hour radio show. So we're going to keep it funky. This is your boy, TJ the Chicago Kid. From the west side of Chicago to the D.C. metropolitan area. And I'm out.
Homie or not, if your friend you get shot, niggas always talk shit but they never step up. Yeah, homie or not, if your friend you get shot, yo, it's God for all or nothing, nigga from south.